Hello everyone, it's time to Nefis and Chill, and in this video I'll be going over my dock deck build for Back 4 Blood, and this is going to be for the purpose of clearing every act and every of the level of the act, whatever it is, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, on veteran difficulty. And this deck isn't something you have to really grind a lot for. I just kind of made it along the way and ended up with what I have right now. So it'll probably take on average, depending on how fast you can clear veteran acts or levels, probably about 4 or 6 hours to get these cards. And you mainly get most of these cards I'll show here in my deck from the middle card deck, or card deck skill line. I don't know how to call this, a skill line, deck line. We'll just call it a deck. The top deck is usually for offensive stats or offensive cards, although you will see like sprinkles of defensive or utility cards mixed in every deck. But typically, yes, the middle deck is going to be where you find things like not just skins and stuff like that, but utility, defense cards. As you can see in the bottom one, it's more about like stamina, speed, whether it's movement speed, weapons, swap speed, and so forth. Alright, moving on to my veteran difficulty dock deck. So, the first thing you probably want is going to be the support scavenger. Now remember how the deck system works in Back 4 Blood, if you watched my top 10 tips for beginners. So the first card is a freebie. So the very first thing you do is put whatever you want as your freebie. That will basically be active before you even have to choose a card at the top of your deck. So for example here I have support scavenger utility. Not only can I sense where nearby support accessories are, but I can also see, but I also get a increase in the support accessories spawn. And this is great because for a lot of reasons. I made this deck because I've been playing with total strangers. And I have had a lot of variety of strangers. People who just kind of went Rambo and died. People who just kept taking damage or triggering hordes. People who, had some decent communication skills or a decent sense of gameplay. And it's gonna be rough depending on if you're gonna play this with people you know or people you don't know. Either way, more support accessories means more defibrillators, more med kits, more bandages, more pain meds. It's a really powerful card to have throughout any level. So this would be your freebie because you don't want to choose this later on because you might want better stats or better buffs from a different card. And it is a passive. So nothing you don't really have to do anything with this card or anything special. You don't have to get headshots. At one point, a group of mine found like 5 pain meds with 4 bandages in like the same corner, and that's probably likely due to the support scavenger utility card. So yeah, that's the first card. That's a freebie. And the next 4 to 5 cards that are going to be next in order. You can only choose 1 card per level, unless you've skipped to a chapter select. Depending on what you think your group is, if your group is inexperienced and so forth, things like the card like Inspiring Sacrifice is really, really, really useful. Take note that there is a likelihood that maybe somebody else in this random group, hypothetical random group, may have this as well, or may even have this. So these won't stack from testing with other group members. So long as this card is active on you, you're gonna have this Inspiring Sacrifice team effect. When you or teammate becomes incapacitated, all teammates heal for 25 health over 20 seconds. And this can be really, really good actually in a really tight situation, whether maybe your group's backed up into the bathroom or something and shooting down the hallway. But yeah, this is going to be really, really good for beginner groups or people just kind of who don't know what they're doing, and allow for you to actually recover. You don't have to stop to band-aid yourself and so forth. The next few cards I'll be talking about is Reckless Strategy. This is going to give you 30% weak spot damage, but it does give you minus 5% damage resistance. And we're gonna kind of actually jump back to Doc here, because we're gonna read her passives. Her passives are, she can heal she can heal each teammate for 25 health once per level. What this means is you can heal your 3 other teammates for a base amount of 25 health once per level. So if you heal all 3 of your teammates or 1 teammate before the level is cleared, you can't heal that person or those people again. You also do get a base 20% healing efficiency, and just to kind of break it, just to simplify things, healing efficiency basically means more healing done. And of course your team effect is going to be 25% more team trauma resistance. A lot of players unfamiliar with Back 4 Blood and probably coming from like Left 4 Dead or something won't really understand what trauma is. So trauma is going to be the blacked out red bars on your health bar that cannot be healed, and this is because you're traumatized from getting banged up too much. The only things that can recover that health bar again, the blacked out red bar, is going to be a first aid station or a medkit that can get some of that trauma back. And of course Doc is a really good character for that, and that's why I think Doc is a really good character for him pretty much every group in terms of group composition. But yeah, so going back to what I was talking about here earlier with the Doc deck, you're gonna get minus 5% damage resistance, but in turn you're gonna gain plus 30% weak spot damage. We'll kind of go back to this here in a bit, and the weak spot damage is really nice, provided you can aim at the weak spot damage. Otherwise, you can go with something else. Maybe you want a different utility. Maybe you want more stamina, sprint efficiency, and maybe more health from superior cardio. There's options here. The next one is going to be Field Surgeon. You're going to get 60% more healing efficiency. So far it seems additive in terms of the game calculations, not multiplicative. So what this means is with the 20% healing efficiency from Doc already, now you're up to 80% healing efficiency. So you're almost to a double of your healing done bonus. However, you also do get a minus 50% use speed, but that's not really a big deal because oftentimes you're recovering outside of the fight or maybe during a lull in the fight. Shoulder bang is going to give you a minus 10% damage dealt, and that's why we went with Reckless Strategy. I mean, the weak spot damage modifier is pretty high already, provided you can hit their weak spots, like the Special Infected. Normal zombies are kind of whatever, so it's really a focus on the Special Infected. Getting them down faster is a really good thing for your group. While you do get minus 10% damage dealt, you gain 2 support inventory slots. So what that means is you can carry 2 more medkits, 2 more bandages, etc. And this is really good. This is a real lifesaver for the rest of your group. Broadside, it's going to be precision kills have a 20% chance to cause Ridden to explode. This is a matter of preference. Again, because I'm losing some damage, I kind of want to still contribute to the damage of the group in whatever way possible. You can kind of swap this out with pretty much whatever you think you need, whether it's more health, maybe your stamina efficiency, or maybe your max stamina is a bit low. Whatever. But this is kind of what I really liked, especially during hordes. A lot of people will trigger hordes, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Maybe they shot a bird off in the distance or something, right? So clearing the hordes is really nice, and precision kills, the 20% chance it happens a lot. It's really satisfying seeing just heads pop off and then their body just blows up everything around them. Combat Medic, plus 50% use speed. Heals teammates for an additional 20 health when you revive them. Pretty self-explanatory. Group Therapy, when you use a medical accessory, all teammates heal for 5 health. And I'm not sure if it's a bug or not, but it seems to override trauma, so that's really good. Medical Professional, it's going to be each extra life increases the number of times you can be incapacitated without dying. So what this is saying is it'll give the person being revived with a defib an extra life. First aids being used will also give them an extra life. So, but it also gives you like a fighting chance against trauma damage, and this is really nice. Amped Up, when you exit a starting safe room, your team gains 50 temporary health. This is kind of a situational card, but this is again kind of for those people who just kind of rush out the door. And this gives you some time to help them. unfortunately, no matter how much you yell at them in voice chat. And of course, this is kind of a selfish card, but wooden armor, but also a dangerous card. Wooden armor is going to give you 40% more trauma resistance. I have found that the less I focus on myself, or the less I can focus on myself in terms of my health management, and the more I help other people as Doc, it's a lot easier. It really is. So the 40% trauma resistance is going to allow me to kind of just stay topped off with really cheap stuff like bandages. Bandages are ridiculously OP with Doc's passives, in addition to the cards shown here, because you don't really need to spend a lot of copper to keep yourself up, and so forth. But this does come with a drawback. You do get minus 100% fire, acid, and explosion resistances. In most of my runs, even with sloppy groups, I don't really have a problem with the fire and explosion. I do sometimes have an issue with the retchers that, throw up acid at you. So you just gotta be more situationally aware if you want to use this card, especially when there are retchers around. Charitable Soul, healing teammate also applies 50% of the effect to you, and this is going to be really great in conjunction with every other healing card we've seen so far, because we're healing everybody else, and in turn, it's just going to keep us topped off, and since we are getting less trauma damage, it's just kind of there to help us get topped off and focus on the rest of the group at all times. Poultice, when you use a medical accessory, the target heals for an additional 20 health over 30 seconds. This can be nice, usually at the start of the fight, or maybe towards like something you just pick up. This is really preference too. Sometimes I swap it around towards the beginning or the end. I'm kind of waiting at this point for a better card. But yeah, this can be nice early game. Cross trainers, and of course, the acts as they go on become a bit more demanding in terms of how much you need to run. Maybe there are runners now chasing after you, so cross trainers is pretty good towards the later stages of the game as more and more corruption cards appear from the AI director. And pep talk. This is also kind of up to you. There is a card that appears sometime later that gives you 225% more revive speed. However, I really don't like the offensive accessories disabled. However, there is also kind of the plus 20% reduced in-cap trauma. So this is going to be really up to you. I've tried it. It depends really again on the group coordination. If your group can't really coordinate, like, okay, who has the pipe bombs, who has the flashbangs, depending. Yeah, it's not gonna be good. But again, it's a pretty good card. It's just gonna be situational in relation to pep talk, where you just get minus 5% damage resistance. Whereas here, you may be shorting yourself on utility or offensive utility. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is my Doc deck card, and I've cleared all the acts on veteran difficulty pretty much with most of this deck. A couple cards like, I believe it was Wooden Armor and Broadside for me didn't really appear until later on. So those two cards I kind of swapped out with, I believe it was Smelling Salts and... oh, and Motorcycle Jacket. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. It's a pretty good deck. Of course, you can make your own. So you can maybe use this as inspiration. I'm not telling you, yo, this is the best deck. I'm just telling you, hey, this is what I use for Vet as Doc. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions about this deck build. If you'd like to see more kinds of, deck builds or play styles for like melee or maybe a grenade build or something like that, something cool, let me know down in the comments below as well. This is, of course, my first build video ever for Back 4 Blood, but I usually do build videos for The Elder Scrolls Online. So if you're also an MMO player who, trying to get into ESO, definitely check out my other content on the channel. Thanks for Neffas and chilling, stay safe, and see you guys next time.